Nothing destroys investors faster than emotional impatience, especially in crypto, because crypto makes people feel like they are running out of time. Every day, someone posts profits. Someone talks about Bitcoin exploding. Someone claims financial freedom is happening right now. And emotionally, that creates pressure. Pressure to move faster. Pressure to catch up. Pressure to become rich quickly. And that pressure changes behavior immediately. People stop thinking long-term. They stop thinking clearly. And they begin chasing emotions. That is where problems begin. Because emotional investing always creates emotional decisions. People buy because of excitement. People sell because of fear. And slowly, their emotions become stronger than their strategy. That is why impatience destroys so many beginners, not because they are unintelligent, but because emotionally, they expect results too quickly, and unrealistic expectations always create frustration, especially during corrections, because corrections expose emotions. When the market drops, impatient investors panic first. They begin doubting everything: the market, their strategy, their future, and emotionally, they collapse. Because emotionally, they were never investing calmly. They were chasing emotional relief. That is why patience matters so much. Because patience creates stability, and stability changes behavior. Patient investors react differently. When the market becomes emotional, they become calmer. When fear spreads everywhere, they slow down emotionally because they understand something important. Real wealth usually grows slowly, quietly, over time, not overnight. And that mindset changes everything psychologically, because now you stop forcing success emotionally. You stop chasing every opportunity. You stop reacting to every headline, because you finally understand that long-term thinking creates emotional freedom, and emotional freedom creates better decisions. That is why patient investors usually survive longer, not because they predict perfectly, but because they manage emotions better. And emotional control is one of the rarest advantages in crypto, especially today, because modern attention has been trained for speed, fast content, fast dopamine, fast results. But investing works differently. The market rewards patience far more than emotional excitement. And emotionally, many beginners struggle accepting that, because slow progress feels invisible emotionally, especially online, where everyone posts success. Nobody posts patience, and that creates dangerous expectations. People begin believing that wealth should happen quickly, and when it does not, they become emotionally frustrated. That frustration creates impulsive decisions, and impulsive decisions destroy consistency. That is why long-term investors protect patience carefully, because patience protects discipline, and discipline protects behavior, especially during uncertainty. That is why patient investors usually move differently. They think slower, they react slower, and emotionally, they stay more stable, because now their emotions no longer control decisions, and that changes everything. Remember, please, impatience destroys portfolios. Patience builds stability, and stability creates long-term wealth. And this is where everything changes, because once investors understand patience, they stop treating crypto like gambling and start treating it like long-term wealth building. That mindset shift is extremely powerful, because now the goal is no longer how fast can I get rich. The goal becomes how long can I stay consistent. And consistency changes investing completely, because now you stop chasing emotional highs, you stop forcing opportunities, and you stop comparing your journey to random people online, because comparison creates emotional pressure, and emotional pressure creates bad decisions. That is why patient investors protect their mindset carefully, because mindset controls behavior, and behavior controls results, especially in crypto, where emotions move faster than logic. Greed during pumps, fear during crashes, doubt during corrections, and without patience, most people emotionally break. That is why emotional endurance matters so much. Can you stay calm during uncertainty? Can you continue building slowly while everyone else panics? That is the real challenge. Not predicting perfectly, not finding magic coins, but controlling emotions consistently, because emotional stability creates long-term consistency, and consistency creates long-term wealth. That is why patient investors usually survive longer. They understand cycles, they understand fear, and they understand that volatility is temporary, especially in crypto, because crypto constantly tests emotions, and emotional investors usually fail those tests. They panic sell bottoms, they chase hype emotionally, and eventually they destroy their own progress, not because crypto failed, but because impatience became stronger than discipline. That is why patience is actually a financial advantage, because patient investors make fewer emotional mistakes, and fewer mistakes create better long-term outcomes, especially over time, because wealth compounds slowly, not emotionally, and that is difficult for many beginners to accept, because emotionally, humans want immediate rewards, but investing rewards patience instead. That is why long-term thinking changes behavior completely. You stop obsessing over daily prices. You stop reacting emotionally to short-term movement, and you begin focusing on building a future carefully. That is the real goal, not emotional excitement, but emotional freedom, because financially free people usually think differently. They move slower, they protect capital, and they understand that survival matters more than hype, especially during uncertainty. That is why discipline matters, because discipline protects patience, and patience protects consistency. That is the real foundation of long-term wealth, especially in crypto. Remember, please, never rush wealth, never force success. Protect your emotions, protect your capital, and think long-term.